Just a quick word before the video starts. There's a piece about moving to Greece on here, and we did this in early 24. So if you're watching this in 25, 26, things change on a daily basis. And neither me nor the Hobbit are legal eagles, so it's just our experience that we're putting across here today. At the end of this video, there is a winter warmer because I know some of you like that, and I thought I'd just mention it. Anyway, on with the video.
Like 5 minutes ago. And just sit there with my grandparents, like smoke some weed.
It's Friday. Funny how that happens at the end of each week. Welcome back to the channel, Rudgy aka the Doctor, for you regulars, and if you've visited the Coffee and PayPal page this week, thank you ever so much for that. It's really a massive help just at the moment with all the calamities we've had. If you've just joined us, hit the like, share and subscribe and sit back and enjoy the ride, and I'll try not to disappoint you. We chuck a video out every Friday. Right, what we got this week? Well, that was Fiscardo at the beginning. A few people have asked how I met the Hobbit. Well, I'm going to explain that now. She reached out to me a while back because she wanted to move to Kefalonia, and she was going to live in Fiscardo because she hadn't really explored the rest of the island. As you know, if you watch the channel regular, she doesn't really like driving that much. So I pointed out that Fiscardo is a beautiful part of the island. In fact, I like to visit it myself from time to time. But I prefer it out of season when it's quiet. Unfortunately, out of season in the winter, there's nothing there. There's probably one supermarket. I'm not sure how often that opens, and it doesn't have all that much in there. So you've got quite a drive, an hour and a half, 2 hours in the winter to get to Augustoli, where everything happens really, and pay your bills and collect your food, stuff like that. So you would have to plan your life in the winter there. Not for me, maybe some people like that. So that's how I met the Hobbit. Anyway, let's have a look at Fiscardo during the summer, and then we'll have a look at it during the winter, and you'll see the difference. however. I wonder what goes on that boat. So there you go, Fiscardo. Pretty self-explanatory really, which is why I haven't spoken much over the top of this footage. Thought I'd let you take in the atmosphere. Laid back as always. Right, well there you go. That was the beginning of the season 2023. I went up there to have a wander around and make some footage. Now we'll have a look at it during the winter and you'll see the difference, quite different. This is just before the Hobbit came back to the UK, so end of October. Right, there's the Hobbit. She's been to the cash point. How peaceful it is. I'm in my element. It's like the old days, early 80s. Yeah, you can even hear the ropes creaking on that yacht. Fantastic. Why haven't you filmed this before, I hear you say? Well, because it's quite a long way from where I live, and in the winter it gets a bit chilly riding out here. But as I said, it's a Hobbit's last day and she loves it here, so I said I'd bring her before she catches the plane. But look at that, I mean, right, well there you go, that's what Fiscardo's like in the winter. And now we'll have a little bit of an interview with the Hobbit and see what she's got up to since I first met her about moving out there, because you can't just move to Kefalonia now like you used to be able to when we were part of the EU. I got my residency because I could prove I'd been there pre-2020, and I've got a digital biometric visa now, which means that I've got access to the free market, so I can work, I can live there, do what I like really. So long as I comply with their rules, I'm fine. But of course, if you're just starting to do it now, it's very difficult. So we'll let the Hobbit explain that. Well, here we go. Here's the Hobbit.
Hello.
And those of you who watch the channel on a regular basis will know who the Hobbit is, and you'll know all the banter that goes on between us. But she reached out to me originally because you wanted to move to Kefalonia, didn't you? And in particular, where were you thinking of moving?
Fiscardo.
And why was that?
Because it's a long way from you. It's about the farthest you can get from you.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just because it was quiet really, and I guess I went there 15 years ago, and it's the only place I've ever wanted to go to twice.
Oh,
So
well, there you go.
yeah, so it had a bit of a hold,
Hmm.
I suppose, like a lot of places do.
So I think it was just coming into winter when you first contacted me, and I said maybe go out there during the winter and see what it's like, which you did.
Oh, actually, that wasn't winter. That was April.
Was it?
It was. It was out of season April though.
Yeah.
And there was a horrific thunderstorm, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was.
It was lousy weather. In fact, you couldn't leave the house for 3 days.
You sent me all the clips.
I actually really liked it though because it was real. And yeah, I mean the people that rented out the villa to me actually loaded me up with food, like pasta and tomato sauce and a box of eggs. It was great. I didn't have to leave the house. But I don't know. The weather didn't put me off because it was still warm, and the isolation didn't put me off. But I can see it wouldn't be everybody's cup of tea.
No. So then I said, well, maybe you need to go and see the rest of the island. So that's where I came in, and we had a little look at some houses that she was thinking of buying, and you stopped in Augustoli, I think, and then I took you around the island, didn't I?
Yes.
And that's where the trouble started. Because what are your thoughts now?
Confused actually, but also probably going to pitch up down in the south of the island after all.
Yeah.
Near you.
Oh. Yippee.
Walking distance actually.
Oh no. So, as I explained a minute ago, it's not just a simple case of jumping on a plane. Here I am, I want to live here anymore. So I've explained how I did it, and the Hobbit will now explain what she's thinking of doing and the little journey that she's been on, because she knows a bit more than I do about it now.
Well, don't go down the Greek embassy in London, that's for sure, because you won't get through the front door. So there's several visas. I'm no expert, but I can probably do it on a digital nomad visa, which will give you 1 year and then it's renewable. And I do believe you can convert that to a D visa eventually and get your residency. So a digital nomad visa just enables you to work there, so long as your clients are based in the UK. You can't work for anybody in Greece and have it paid into a Greek account. It has to be through your UK bank for UK clients. The other way is a FIP visa, FIP for a financially independent person visa, but that's for people who've retired, and you have to prove monthly sort of income of like £2,000 or £3,000 a month, something like that, through investments and pensions and all that kind of stuff. So that's for retired people, and the other way is the golden visa. And a lot of people are scared, and I've seen a lot of comments online, people saying that you need €500,000. It's not true. You do in Athens, and you do in some of the suburbs of Athens.
Yeah.
And I think there might be 1 or 2 more remote islands where you.
Yeah, there's 1 or 2 islands I've read about.
But mainly it's €250,000, and that gets you a golden visa, which is basically, if you're fortunate enough to do that, that's the easiest way to do it. But you do need to what's the word? Yes, you have to do power of attorney, and that gives your solicitor access to your sort of, well, basically it's giving them the ability to open an account for you, sort out a Greek tax number for you, and it's a bit scary because you do have to then go with your solicitor to a notary and then sign probably like 10 pages of Greek text.
Yeah.
And you have to sign each page of this at the notary's office, and obviously you don't understand it. They did offer to translate it for me, but it obviously would have taken a long time to do that. And I just thought, well, I'm just going to trust you. And I signed every single page of this. But, there's the worry that this might affect the fact they might have access to your funds in the UK. But I think as long as you've got a solicitor that's been recommended to you, I think you're pretty safe. So, yes, you have to do that. But, yeah, if you're fortunate enough, the golden visa is the easy way.
Yeah.
For sure.
So that's the route I think the Hobbit will go down. You've found a couple of houses, haven't you? And one in particular, the Snake Pit, you fell in love with. watch the sunset off the balcony most nights, and then walk back to my place where you were staying.
Yeah.
And that all fell through. Now, that's a word of warning from me. I've watched this happen a few times with various friends. You've got to be really careful when you're buying out in Greece. You've got to make sure that they own the property that they're trying to sell you. And never, ever give them any cash up front, because that could disappear and you've still not got the house. And that was a situation that the Hobbit found herself in, and we walked away from that one in the end. But you have found a really nice house, haven't you, that you really like.
I found a great house. But another thing I would say of warning, and it's not just me it's happened to, is that these houses, they're on the market quite a long time, and quite often the people that own them, they're either doing them for holidays, or they're part of a bigger family sort of unit where a lot of people own it, and they're not that fussed whether they sell them or not, because they're either making 30,000 euros a year by renting it, so they think, well, if somebody comes along, fair enough, we'll sell at that price, and a very inflated price, or they're just happy to carry on letting it out. So when somebody does come along, and something might have been on the market 6 years or so, the price goes up, and they get, as soon as there's a whiff of interest from an expat, they can put the price up, and not just by a little bit. I mean, it can go up to 100,000 euros.
Yeah, that's happened to you a couple of times.
Yeah, and it's really disheartening.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it to a few other expats up near Fiscardo, and they said it's not uncommon. So I think I appreciate why they do that, because they don't really mind if they sell it or not. But if you've got your heart set on something, it can get...
Yeah.
You need to not get too attached until it's all signed and done, because otherwise it's emotionally upsetting.
Which is easier said than done. I've watched this happen a couple of times now. So we'll let you know how the Hobbit gets on later in the year with that. Like I say, there is a property she's got her heart set on. They're asking too much money for it at the moment. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And in the meantime, you're welcome to stay at my place anytime, so long as I'm not there. Anyway.
That's nice, isn't it?
No, she's got to come and stay with me, because otherwise we don't get the banter, and you lot like that, don't you? So there you go. So I hope that's been useful to you, and thank you, Hobbit, for those pearls of wisdom.
Gibberish.
And now I'll show you something that happened while I've been staying here. As you know, I hurt my back. I'll show you something that I found quite amusing and the Hobbit didn't. So we'll get on to that clip. Right, as you all know, about 3 weeks ago I injured my back. We won't go into how I did that. It was the Hobbit's fault. She just gave me too much work to do. That's what it was. Anyway, the whole trip back to the UK to earn the funds for next year has been a complete and utter unmitigated disaster as far as my finances are concerned, but never mind. These are just little bumps in the road that you have to go over. I'm still smiling about it, so that's okay. Anyway, it meant that I couldn't walk anywhere. I can't stand for long periods, but we did discover that if I went shopping to certain shops, the trolleys are a certain height, I can lean on those, and it took the pressure off my back so we could get round the shops, and it was a day out. So, bearing that in mind, we needed a week's shopping, so the Hobbit decides to take me to Sainsburys. What could possibly go wrong? Well, you'll see in a minute, and I'll explain later. So the Hobbit's taken me out to Sainsburys. And she insists on using the app on her phone to pay with things, or she'll go for the self-checkout. And I keep saying to her that's taking people's jobs away, which is a dangerous thing. And why should we check our food out? We don't work for Sainsburys, so we don't get a discount. Anyway, that's where we should have been paying, and it wouldn't go through. So guess what? The guys took it down there to a checkout where there's a person, and they will check every single item off again. And you wonder why I want to live in Greece. Oh well, there you go. In Greece I've got 3 people to each job, by the way. Yeah, just thought I'd share that with you. Oh dear, doesn't look like things are going well. Look, she's got a cross face on, and now she's waving her arms around. Well, it's been about 3 weeks now and we still haven't got the shopping. In fact, I think some of the food's gone off. The Hobbit's looking more and more stressed by the minutes. Oh, we're going to hear about this in the car on the way home. I don't really see the point of this because we were checking it out without having to use a human being, so they didn't have to pay any staff, and now we've got 2 people on it talking to somebody else, so there's obviously 3 people now involved in one lot of shopping. Oh, now it looks like the manager's here. Oh, lots of gesticulating going on. Oh dear, oh dear. I used to be fairly easygoing about all this sort of stuff, but it makes me cross because all these customers here, without knowing it, are actually working for Sainsburys, aren't they? By checking out, because that's a job somebody could be doing. And then it causes all this stress when it doesn't quite work, which is quite a lot of the time, from my experience. So, what exactly's happened, Hobbit? Did you get a bit stroppy with the man in the shop?
I got enormously stroppy. Now we haven't got any food. I told him he could decant the whole flipping trolley himself.
She didn't say that to me, but I can't put it on YouTube. So, if you're, where are we, Barnstable?
Barnstable Sainsbury's.
If you're the manager, store manager of the Barnstable Sainsbury's, Philip your name is, you can watch this and so can all your friends. Because, as I said earlier, we don't work for Sainsbury's. And by making people do that, they're working for you. And do you get a discount for your food? No. You'll say that you get nectar points. I'm not subscribing to that either, because that doesn't really, I've done that in the past, doesn't really get you very far. So what the outcome of that was, they wanted the Hobbit to empty everything out the bags so they could check she hadn't nicked anything. And all that had happened is there was a malfunction with the app on her phone. So the Hobbit quite rightly got a bit stroppy about it. And we've left the shop in there, so now we've got no food. We've wasted a few hours in the store, and all because Sainsbury's want you to do their job. Anyway, rant over. We'll probably put this on the end of one of the videos. I've now got to go and cheer the Hobbit up because she's very cross.
They've got all my jute bags as well.
Oh yeah, they kept the bags as well. I think a letter might be in order to Sainsbury's. Philip, if you're watching this,
you need to put your seatbelt on.
It was a good job I wasn't fit enough to stand up and come over there, because you've had 2 of us on you. Anyway, Hobbit, onward and upward. I'm going to put my seatbelt on. So we've just run through a list of things we now haven't got. Cranberry juice, salad, curry. I haven't got my curry now. Bottle of wine.
Got no milk.
No milk.
No mixers for cocktails.
No mixers for cocktails.
And it's Friday.
And it's Friday.
Friday night.
And it's all my fault, apparently.
It is. It's all your fault.
My fault.
You should have stopped me from leaving the shopping. You should have diffused the situation. But no, you filmed it.
Well, I had to sit down because my back wasn't good, so I had to sit down.
Where are you in a crisis?
Yeah. Well, I think there will be a letter to Sainsbury's.
Yes.
Because it was badly handled, in my opinion, from what I watched, which I'll explain in a minute. So where are we going now, Hobbit?
Asda's.
We're going to have an argument in Asda as well, or we're going to
get bags.
Oh, we've got no bags. Heaven forbid. This will be good. I'm going to film this because this could be a better argument than the last one.
I'm glad you find it amusing.
See, viewers, who would have known that shopping could have been so entertaining on YouTube? And if you wonder where I'm looking, yeah, the Hobbit's driving.
What do you mean, where you're looking?
I have invited her to go to the pub before we go home, and I'll drive back.
No. Too angry to drink.
Things weren't going well. We went shopping. What could possibly go wrong?
Everything with you at the moment.
It's not my fault, is it? Right, so there's a very cross Hobbit that I had to calm down. It took me 2 days to do that. Anyway, let me explain what happened. Because the Hobbit's quite busy trying to earn some money. Right, well, basically, the Hobbit loves to use her watch or her Apple phone to pay for stuff. And I know a lot of you do that. I've watched it go on, and I know the younger people in the audience don't know what cash is. In my opinion, this isn't a political channel, and I don't want to, I'll just touch briefly on my opinion of it. In my opinion, it's a really bad thing to take cash out of the system. How will you tip people? How will you have boot sales? Those are just the minor things, plus the fact they all know what you're doing with your money. But we won't go into that. So anyway, this is where it all falls down for me. I like to talk to somebody when I come for the checkout, and I like to make sure that I've got the right items and blah, blah, blah. So the Hobbit tells me this happens quite a lot. We brought £100 worth of shopping, and we'd scanned it as we went round the store. Something that I didn't know you could do, because I'm not really interested. I don't work for Sainsburys, but obviously the Hobbit does. So we went round happily scanning stuff with the phone, and then you have to apparently go to this big tower thing where you show your phone to the pillar thing, and it takes the shopping and makes sure you paid for it, and you get a little receipt, and off you go. Well, that's okay unless you've done what we did. I went to Argos while we were in Sainsburys to get some items for myself. And when we got to the checkout, so we didn't forget them, the Hobbit had put those on top of the bags. It flagged up that there was some sort of problem. Apparently it does this all the time with the app. So this gentleman comes along, didn't get his name, but anyway, this gentleman comes along. Before me and the Hobbit had a chance to say anything to him, he said, I'll have to scan some of your items, which apparently they do. They scan 3 or 4 or something, and then off you go on your merry way, because there's a glitch. He went to scan the items. We were about to tell him, no, don't scan those, they're from Argos. He scanned them, completely crashed the system. So then it doesn't work. So then they cart her off, as you've seen. And that's what all the fuss was about. Because they wanted us to empty out £100 worth of shopping onto the conveyor belt. 2 problems there, Sainsburys. I was in a lot of pain by that point. So I had to sit down, so I couldn't be involved in the conversation. And secondly, the chicken and stuff that's come out the freezer or the fridges and things are all starting to warm up at this point, aren't they? Yeah. Normally, we'd put them in a cool bag, put them in the back of the car, go straight home, unload them, and they stay fresh as a daisy. But while you're messing about unloading £100 of the shopping, that don't really work. So anyway, that's in brief what actually happened on that segment of film we've just watched. So now you can see how angry the Hobbit was about it. I just thought it was funny.
Barnstable.
I don't know where we are. I haven't been watching.
How could you think that we are back in Barnstable? We just left Barnstable.
I'm going to remind you of this when we're in the car
You have
on Kepalonia.
no sense of direction. We've just driven in the opposite direction. We're now in Bideford. We're on the way to Cornwall.
Oh, Cornwall. We could go and get a pasty.
I don't believe it. I'm not going to forget that.
No, probably
No
not.
sense of direction.
Yeah.
You should look at a map and see where Barnstable is
Well,
and where Bideford is.
when one's being chauffeured, one doesn't really need a map. Oh, now look what's over there, Hobbit.
Yes, we're not going to
Look, you don't have any of them problems in there, do you? Oh, no. Get served in there by a human being.
Do you know what? Any more out of you, you'll be in McDonald's for dinner.
Oh, McDonald's. That's a good shout. Should we go to McDonald's?
No.
Oh.
Trans Fat Central.
Trans Fat Central.
No, she's not going. She's just
Well,
gonna sit
she's
there.
not. That's it.
She's
Now you
parked.
see,
She's
normally.
parked on the middle of a roundabout.
Now you see, you can tell the Hobbit's cross because normally she's very, very sort of timid when she's driving. I would put it.
Timid.
Takes ages to get onto an island and things. Very polite and sorry to everybody. But now it's get out of my way. I'm coming through.
So we've got to park right outside the shop.
Yes, we have, because
yeah,
I stood up too long, my back hurts.
Oh God.
Parking the disabled.
Look there, there's a disabled spot there.
Yeah.
I could Photoshop a blue badge.
Yeah, you could,
and then
yeah.
I could get stopped for doing that as
Yeah,
well.
that's right. Yeah, you're a criminal. You are.
Once a criminal, always a criminal.
I think that's the issue here. Apparently, there's just a bit more came out then. Apparently now, because she didn't comply to what they wanted to do, which was go through every single item, because of my Argos stuff, which has nothing to do with them, she's now going to be checked every time she goes through because it will flag up that she's a thief.
Thief. Well, they've not got my custom anymore. I should get Fortnum's to deliver it.
Fortnum's, yes.
Come on.
Come on, let's
Come
go,
on,
Hobbit.
let's
Hobbit's
go.
a skip.
No.
Where are we now? Asda?
take Miss round shopping. See if you don't get us thrown out of this one.
Oh, okay. My fault, was it?
They are, aren't they?
Yeah, but how old were you then? I remember throwing things to get them knocked off so I could have one and take it home.
Put that on it now.
Wagon,
Just sitting there, never be seen again.
wagon wheels were like that, weren't they, when you were 4?
Tell you what else wrong, it's Cadbury's cream eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So there you are, Hobbit. That was our calf. A human being that served us, and we didn't have one problem, did we? Apart from the coconut, but she didn't know what the price of that was and sent somebody to find out. So that's your Asda shopping experience. Okay, so that's this week's video. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it. Next week I'm off to pack my stuff ready for Nomad, and then I'm stopping with the bucket for a couple of weeks and should be flying home after that. There probably won't be much more of the Hobbit or the bucket for a few weeks until my birthday, when hopefully they'll be back out in sunny Greece and we can get up to some more shenanigans. Hope you enjoyed watching the video. If you haven't already, hit like, share and subscribe. If you've hit the Coffee and PayPal page this week, thank you ever so much for doing that. Your credits will come up at the end of the video. Hang around for the outtakes and I'll see you soon. See you Friday. Thanks for watching. Well, here we go, guys. Here's another winter warmer to burst through your device or through your computer screen or even through your telly, depending on what you're watching me on. Just to brighten your day if it's raining or it's cold wherever you are. So yeah, winter warmer question, where am I today? I bet a few of you know. One or two of you probably don't. In fact, Nikki's a bit confused. She's never been up here before. Look at that. We're into October now. It was the 1st yesterday. And it's pretty warm. Have an evening on the bike. Pays if I've got something with long sleeves, but it's still pretty warm. Pretty nice day. We did have some rain the other day, which cooled things down a little bit, but I think it's set to get a bit warmer again. We usually have reasonable weather right through till December, don't we? There you go. Anyway, where am I? Leave it in the comments. Where was Rudgy on the winter warmer? Right, on with the video. Oh, here we go. It's Hobbit time. Hello, Hobbits.
Hello.
She's sitting by a roaring fire. Well, not so much roaring, more sort of smouldering. Anyway, as I said, we met because you reached out to me about moving to Greece, didn't you?
Rather foolishly, yes.
I can see this is going to be a good interview. Anyway, so you were going to move to Fiscardo, weren't you? So what are your thoughts now that I've driven you around the island and you've stayed in Augustoli, etc., etc.?
Well, originally I really didn't like Argostoli, but it's grown on me. It's really grown on me. But I don't know if Fiscardo's still got a hold. I mean, if you like quiet, it's a lot quieter. Oh God, I'm talking gibberish. I can't do this.
Well, welcome back to the channel, Rudgy aka the Doctor. If you've just joined us, hit like, share and subscribe, hit the like button, and that will help me enormously. No, that's not good either, is it? God, do you mean your genius just comes off the cuff?
Wait, you don't want this crap in the way, do you?
No, you don't want that crap in the way, do you?
Oh, you're filming already.
Oh. Alright. Sitting by a very nice fire here. See, there you are. Oh dear, oh dear. People just don't understand what I have to put up with. Has makeup finished with you now? Have they finished building the set?
Come on, get on with it.
Are you sitting comfortably? Good, then I'll begin. Once upon a time in a land far, far away.
I'll just perform, you know. These things come off the cuff. I can't just answer questions like a robot.
Can we have makeup? Take 2. Right, so here's the Hobbit. A lot of you who watch the channel regularly will know the Hobbit. You've seen the banter that goes on between us. It hasn't stopped. It's took about 3 weeks to get this one little interview out the pan. She can't perform like that, apparently. Anyway, Hobbits. Here we go, guys. Here's another one of your winter warmers to burst sunlock. Start again. Take 2. No, that's no good. That might be slightly better. 2, 3, 4. It's Friday. Welcome back to the channel, guys. And if you haven't already, hit like, share and subscribe. Sit back and enjoy the ride. For those of you who visited the PayPal and coffee page this week, thank you ever so much for doing that. As I've said a million times now, I really appreciate that. It helps make these videos. So what have we got this week? Well, I've got a bad back, so it's getting better now, but I haven't been able to walk very far. So the Hobbit had to go to London, so I dropped her at the station, and then I went on to Torquay to sort out my affairs. I'm still moving stuff to Greece, so I had to go around and sort all that out. The boat's up for sale. I'm not going to go into that. Somebody lowballed me with a really low offer, and I went and got some stuff off there that if it's going to go cheap, no, I can't say all that, that's too much. Cut! What are you doing, Hobbit?
Eating.
You're not mucking about then?
No.
What are you doing, Andy?
Mucking about.
What are you doing, Rudgy? You know, just mucking about.